Laurie with Frank Dyson.
Thank you, Tony. Really concentrating on just off stump, bowling to two slips in a gully. Really just having a little bit of trouble with his run up there, the moisture and the rain.
This ground has fond memories for Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thompson, these two opening bowlers. Here they first worked in tandem in 1974-75 in that historic test against Mike Dennis's Englishman. What a shock Mike Dennis's Englishman got. Here they are again.
Well, Desmond Haynes has been troubled by that line all summer, not getting across to the pitch of the delivery.
Well, it certainly suggests itself to me that the way the West Indian batsmen are going for their strokes, they're fully aware of the fact that they must score quickly in the first 15 overs if they are to find themselves hampered by yet further rain. They need to score more than 69 to be assured of a better run rate than Australia in those first 15 overs.
Lillee's got it just right. Just a fraction wide of the off stump, but not too short. A little bit of outswing. He's bowling to his field. He's all that quick. He's just a bit above medium pace, a fraction faster, but certainly not trying to bowl too quickly. Just trying to get the ball to move in the air and maybe cut back off the seam. Beautifully fielded gully. Hughes.
And that's what's needed. Keenness in every department. Keen bowling, keen fielding, and the restriction of the West Indian run rate. I'm sure, as Richie Bennett suggested earlier, the Australian bowlers will be hurrying through their overs. And they'll be desperately keen to keep the runs down to 69 or less.
Bowled, maiden over, no wicket for 8. The minute will take up the attack. Only no wicket for 10. And he does that, puts it away for 4. Thompson too short.
First boundary of the West Indian innings. Square of the wicket on the offside. And that's probably about the first time that I've seen the Australian bowlers stray into that era of pitching short. We saw quite a bit of that when the West Indies were bowling. They really did bowl on the short side, but Lillee sensibly has kept the ball well up. So has Thompson until this juncture. That's just a demonstration of how dangerous that short pitch delivery can be. Just gives the batsman that room to play his strokes.
Didn't quite get hold of that. Too pace there. On occasion, Greenwich trying to hit on the up. Thompson along with a lot of fire.
Thompson outscoring his more famous rival Dennis Lillee in terms of wickets in these one-day games, having taken 5 more wickets than Lillee. The best bowling performance of 3 for 55. And that was against the West Indies in Sydney. And those 3 wickets, 3 for 55, are the only wickets he has taken against the West Indies.
Big crowd at the Gabba. A little bit quiet at the moment. They're aware of the situation. Wonderful ground for cricket. Not too big these days with the addition of new stands, and everybody gets a good view of the match. Conditions are warm, although overcast.
The ground absolutely crammed. One just has to walk out of the pavilion to see people sitting on steps, jostling one another. Been treated to, in my estimation, a great spectacle today, because whilst the game has been curtailed by rain, it provided oodles of excitement, with Australia having their innings twice interrupted because of rain and also because of lunch, and yet being sensible enough to apply the acceleration when it was required, particularly after lunch. And they took the total from 148 to an eventual total of 185 in a very short time.
It's well bowled, shaking back from off to leg. Greenwich did well to keep that out.
Good spell by Thompson, this. Ball fairly well up, and my word, that was a little bit quick. You can always judge the pace of a bowler by the reaction of the batsman. Greenwich there jumping into the air as he was taken unawares by the extra pace in that ball.
Oh, it finds a gap between first and second slip. Races away for 4. 8 runs off the over. No wicket for 18. And Haynes not working the ball, just struggling for touch. Willie bowling to his field. He just angled that one in from off to leg, but he's bowling to 2 slips and a gully. Cover mid-off and a third man. On the onside, there's a mid-on, square leg and a deep fine leg.
And this is a fairly conventional field, such as one might see on a good wicket, with the ball just moving about a little bit. Certainly sensible bowling on the part of Lilly in particular, because he is bowling to one side of the field, the offside, and he has 6 men on the off. Very difficult to bowl to both sides of the field. Lilly realises that. So he's bowling to a 6-3 field. 3 on the leg, 6 on the off.
There's a bit of desperation, a thick inside edge, fine leg. Thompson's fine return. Greenwich is 12, Haynes is 7.
These are not easy times for the bowler. Humid, heavy, oppressive out there. Had rain, so the ball will be occasionally just accumulating a little bit of dampness, making it a little bit slippery. Yet for all that, both of these bowlers have been fairly accurate, Lilly and Thompson.
Desmond Haynes has got a problem here. He's not prepared to work the ball for singles. He's not really playing many shots. He's out of touch. West Indians barely need the scoreboard ticking over. They play one or the other, and he's not doing either at the moment. Greenwich is 12. There's no wicket for 20. A wide called.
And that wasn't a bad call at all. Under normal conditions, it would not have been classified wide. It was about halfway along the return crease. As you can see, it certainly inhibited Desmond Haynes from playing a stroke. That's the criterion that umpire Mel Johnson applied.
He's got one away. That's 4. Into the over. No wicket for 25. Neat who bowls. Just the one slip in the gully now by Chappell. And the fieldsman on the offside.
Moment, the West Indies scoring at just over 3 runs per over, and this the 9th over. Their overall target is 4.65 per over if they are to win. Greg Chappell probably feeling very contented with the present situation, as might Rod Marsh well be. Australia having scored 985, which in terms of a 50-over game would be the equivalent of 232, and that in itself is a respectable total. Very silent crowd here at the Gabba. Absolutely engrossed by this struggle that's going on out there in the middle. Batsman showing every desire and inclination to get on with the game, being prevented by some good bowling.
It's got him. Yes, going for the great cut. Got the edge, Mast. Did the rest. Well bowled, Dennis Uli. Perfect line and length.
A rather unusual way of getting out, with Haynes attempting to chop down on this ball, and it looked as though he almost got an underneath edge on that, and the ball going through to Rodney Marsh to complete the dismissal. So Haynes is out. The first wicket has fallen for 27.
Limited over cricket in conditions where the ball has moved around. Gone very well the other evening in Sydney, though there wasn't much swing, but a change of pace and accuracy did it there. Bowls now to Greenwich. And he's done it straight away. The wicket the Australians wanted. So the 2 captains today, Vivian Richards has come on and picked up a wicket straight away, and now Greg Chappell. And that's a handy one for the Australians.
It certainly is. Ball pitching perfectly straight, flicked away in the air on the leg side, and the catch well taken. It was a pretty straightforward one, but that's the end of Gordon Greenwich. And the score now 2-4-32.
Greg Chappell, after his very short spell, goes off, and Jeff Lawson comes on. Now this is a situation where the young New South Wales speed bowler has to pull out every bit of determination and skill he possesses, because this is the area where West Indies could get away from Australia. Straight through the slip area, and 4 runs.
Well, that was a little unlucky there, that ball finding the outside edge, and Thompson down at third man was just a little bit too wide to cut it off. But that wasn't bad bowling. It was just bad luck for the Australians. One of the problems the Australians have had and so the Australians now needing a bit of a breakthrough. Vivian Richards is beginning to look far too comfortable and therefore dangerous. West Indies need 119 runs to win. 20 overs remaining, so they require to get those runs. At 5.9, almost 6 and over they need. And if ever there was a man in the world with a bat in his hand that could make 6 runs and over look pretty easy, he's that man. Seems to be screwing his face up a little bit as a result of a little bit of pain in the back. I've seen him on 1 or 2 occasions digging his thumbs into the base of his back. 31 balls and 15 runs, and so not really going along all that quickly, but he looks as if he's setting himself to launch himself with this attack.
It's in the air, but safe. Two to Richards, and might just be, Tony, that he's decided to go.
Yes, I think he might have had a glance over the top of the pavilion. There are a few dark clouds beginning to gather. He might well have spotted those and realises, of course, that given that it rains right now, the West Indians would have lost. And so, no doubt will be making a little extra effort. In any event, they've got a score at 6 and over, so they can't waste too much time. And what the Australians need is that little break, which hopefully will end in the dismissal of this man. Lawson to Richards.
No, that's a wide. The bowler knew it, and certainly the batsman did.
Yes, there can be no doubt about this one. Quick, well pitched up and down the leg side. That was a ploy we used to use a lot in the one-day game in England early on in the piece, until they introduced the far more harsher interpretation of the wide ball, which is now applied in the one-day competition, and quite rightly so as well.
Or more, and Richards didn't even bother to run. Slashed it away there, over the top of where 4th slip would have been.
And Lawson just a little bit unlucky that he's running into Richards as he's about to turn it on, as it were. Not too sure that Greg Chappell wouldn't be better off bringing himself back into this attack. And I say that not because I think Lawson's bowling all that badly. I think Chappell just slightly slower in pace might be the answer.
Well bowled. And in the end, well played by Viv Richards.
That was magnificent bowling by Lawson, right up in the block hole, and he was ever so unlucky not to see that ball roll back onto the stumps. It must have been precious. Little in it as it bobbed past the leg stump. What made it even worse was that apart from hurting Rod Marsh's toe, they also got themselves a single. Look at that. Beautiful bowling, and oh, well, they might remember that one.
No, and Udasa was short of his ground. That's the equation now. West Indies 106 off, 18 overs remaining. Still a very high run rate required, 5.88. And Lawson to Richards.
And just about a runner ball now. The target for the West Indies. Couldn't ask for a better man to be out there. The acting captain of the West Indies today, Vivian Richards. Really sedate when he first came to the wicket, but just starting to blossom his innings now. Only 1 boundary. Exactly the same for Larry Gomes. Very identical figures there. They face the same number of balls. 2 balls the difference and 2 runs the difference in their totals.
And that's gone down to long on for 4. cross-batted swat.
My, how hard that was hit. With Richards, one that you'll see in the coaching manual, one that produces 4 runs in limited over cricket. And was right down on the boundary there and gave him no chance whatsoever. Skimmed very quickly across this low outfield.
Run.
Thompson, none for 13. He replaces Jeff Lawson, who's a little on the expensive side. Lawson, 3 overs, none for 21. Greg Chappell must be ruining the fact that he took himself off. He had the figures of 1 for 11 from 3. Lawson proving to be a little expensive, so it's pace now that Richards has got to contend with. And pace coming in the form of Jeff Thompson.
Well, he's crossed that. Put it down to mid-wicket. There's just one. Border comes off the boundary. And still the West Indies elect to just do it by singles. Richards not satisfied with that shot. Looking at his trusted jumbo rather suspiciously.
Yes, he really does give that bat a real thrashing. Went after that, got an inside edge. Be a real dint in that bat now. Just changed it over.
They take off for the single. Well, the Australians not getting their kicks today. Jeff Thompson trying to get that one onto the stumps.
And the further this tour goes, the more accomplished Larry Gomes is looking. Very intelligent cricket. Just dabbing it down, the single. The Australians under pressure. Thompson charged down, but both of them made it easily. Punisher of the ball that we see in normal West Indian standards, more a deflector of the ball.
And that's in the air, it's high in the air, Lilly is under it, waiting for it, takes the catch, Richards out. Richards caught Lilly, Bo Thompson, set back for the West Indies. A great blow for Australia, 3 for 94.
And a pressure catch if ever you've seen one. Richards just starting to cut loose, went for the big one, it hung in the air, and Lilly judged it perfection down right in front of the member stand and took it underneath the chin. Very safe pair of hands, and the man they wanted to get rid of, and now West Indies 3 for 94.
And the good outfield catch by Dennis Lilly.
That bowling change, very effective for the Australians. Chappell replacing Lawson with Thompson. A good catch by Dennis Lilly, just coming in about 10 metres in from the boundary. Plenty of height on it. Never looked in doubt from the moment it left the bat.
The Australian fielders, the crowd, everyone had a long time to think about that. No one under more pressure than Dennis Lilly, but an experienced cricketer settled under it and took a simple catch. So here we go now with Fouad Bacchus in strike. He's just come in to replace Viv Richards. Thompson, who got Richards, on the way. Good shot by Bacchus, but just the one. Malone down there.
West Indies still require 85 runs, 14 overs remaining. The run rate crept up just over 6 again, 6.07. Bacchus looking very much the aggressor out there at the moment. Only been in for some 10 minutes or so, but really going after the Australians every opportunity.
Runs off the first 2 deliveries of the over. Greg Chappell certainly wouldn't be too worried yet. Batsmen haven't started to really thrash about as the Australians did towards the end of their innings. Perhaps the West Indies waiting for the last 10 overs to really give it a go. Lloyd in the dressing room still, not feeling 100%, has kept himself back. Batsman with a great deal of experience in this type of cricket. And Dujon and then the fast bowlers. And when you get a good ball, you get a good ball, and there's nothing that Fouad Bacchus could have done with that one. Bang on target, good length, and he just played defensively.
And he played it on its merits, giving it the full face of the bat. That's where Jeff Thompson's got to be. Just plugging away, just short of a length, predominantly at those stumps.
And that's well hit by Bacchus. A fine flick shot, first bounce to the boundary. He picked that up beautifully.
Well, slightly unorthodox tactics by the West Indian Bacchus, but flipped that one away beautifully. Worked very square. Short boundaries out there, and we've only needed an ounce more energy or timing, and it could have been 6. He's a real aggressive player.
Outstanding cricket matches. Whatever happens with this one now, we've had plenty of excitement, entertainment, tension, and of course yesterday in that match between the West Indies and Pakistan, going right down to the wire with the West Indies winning by 1 wicket. So they've seen 2 outstanding one-day games. Now Dennis Lilly. Down to the long off-fielder who's fumbled it. They get back for the second. John Dyson in the outfield. A little bit of pressure there on the field as substitute. John Dyson attacking the ball. Ball going through him, perhaps bouncing a little bit awkwardly, and he was lucky it didn't go all the way, in fact.
He got a severe reprimand from Greg Chappell, his captain. Dyson fielding for the injured Bruce Laird.
And that's in the air, but it's going to be safe. It's going down to third man. That's 4 runs. Well, the grand charge is on now for the West Indies.
Did you get the feeling that this is where the match is going to be won or lost? Bacchus has come out with an aggressive frame of mind. He's taken the game up to all of the Australian pacemen, and now he's taking it up to Lilly, their #1 striker.
And he's clipped that beautifully down through mid-wicket. There's a long chase here for Lawson. He'll just get to it inside the boundary, and the batsmen are going to come back for 3. They'll have to hurry. That's a good return. He's gone run out. What a magnificent return from Jeff Lawson. That looked free all the way. Slack running by Bacchus, and a great bit of fielding by Jeff Lawson ends a dangerous innings by Fouad Bacchus.
And what a way to break this partnership. Beautiful return and well taken by Dennis Lilly. He was right at the stumps. And umpire Crafter putting the finger up, and a vital breakthrough for Australia. So Bacchus run out at 20 and 4 for 116 now, the West Indies. Side.
A magnificent finish. And
broad shoulders and tons of experience.
Well, it's going to be Lawson again. Chappell has decided to continue using him. This is the 32nd over, and Lawson to bowl to Clive Lloyd, who no doubt will have a go. Straight away, that one hit away down fine, and Thompson one cut it off. That's 4. Well, that's a pretty good start for the West Indians. That first ball down the leg side, and Clive Lloyd smashing it away down to fine leg.
Yes, I'm a bit amazed that Lawson's has the ball at this stage. A little bit of rain about, a bit of moisture there, breezy ball. Would have thought it had been Chappell, but it's not, and Lloyd picks it up, placed it beautifully, hit it fine.
And remember, they've got to score 186 to win this game. They're 4 for 151. And that's gone high in the outfield. There's a gap down there. No one covering that boundary. One bounce into the crowd for 4.
Well, that's Clive Lloyd's ability to pick the ball up and whip it away, but at least with Greg Chappell, you have to make the pace. Took a chance, it was a fraction short, poiked it over mid-wicket, just short of 6.
It's 4 off the over so far. Remember, they only need 5 and over. Need a wicket. And that's in the air, it's going down the ground, but there's no one down there either. So Clive Lloyd picking the gaps, and that ball also bouncing down towards the boundary there, and in fact, the little boy picked it up. So 8 off 2 balls. And Chappell certainly, because he's a little slower, is going to have his fieldsman on the boundary a little bit more in front of square. Border has been put into the right position now, and Lawson has been moved to that position down on the ground, just where that delivery was hit to.
Greg Chappell relying on Thompson. Lilley has 3 overs to bowl. He's not been brought back as yet. It's going to be Thompson from the members' end to Lloyd. West Indians in a comfortable position now if they keep their cool. 6 wickets in hand.
Oh, well bowled. That was a vicious delivery from Thompson. Clive Lloyd was ever so lucky to get his head out of the way of that.
He didn't play it all that badly either. It just flew. He got out the road and kept it down off the gloves or the blade. Thompson digging it in short. He might have stirred him up, but he wants wickets. Discussion between Gomes and his skipper now. Thompson's giving it 200%.
It was a mean look by Thompson. That ball was real quick, and Clive Lloyd, believe me, didn't enjoy it. There it is. 4.8 they need per over. 30 balls remaining. The West Indies need 24 runs, and they should get these because they're only 4 wickets down. They have 6 wickets in hand, so they can afford to have a real go. Once again, Thompson into the game, coming around very quickly from fine leg and whipping that down, and oh my goodness, it could have been a 5.
You could hear the cry of watch it from Thompson down here in their broadcasting position, and Thompson's so keyed up. You bet they go at 100 mile an hour. Marshy yelling that back up, and what a game. What a weekend it's been here at the Gabba. Chappell taking his time about his field placements for Lloyd, realising that the big man might go down the ground. He's placing Lawson at long on. Going down just right of mid-on for that straight hit.
Can Lee produce the goods? Clive Lloyd going to be looking for the big one. He goes down the pitch, outside edge. It's going down to third man. Wood is back on the ground, and just the single. So things very tense out here. The Australians need a few breaks. They need a wicket or 2. They need both of these men out, in fact. 22 runs of 28 balls. They don't really have to score a run every ball in order to get there. Lilley to Larry Gomes. Nicely deflected, and that'll be 4. Thompson's very square down there, and that was bad bowling by Dennis Lilley, allowing Larry Gomes to flick that one away fine. And Thompson, of course, was very square, so that's a nasty blow for Australia.
Well played, Larry Gomes. Moved into the 50s, and he's played very well. That was a poor delivery from Lilley. Just after a great over from Thompson, he's bowled leg stump, and this man's a master on leg stump. Allows the ball to run off the blade, fine for 4, and generous, of course, for a top knock. Come to the wicket at 2 for 32. It's 4 for 168.
Lilley coming through very quickly. Will he? Oh no, he's missed it. So a quick single taken there by Lloyd and Gomes, and Lilley came through very quickly, tried to pick up but fumbled.
Yes, it was a good call by Gomes. It was square. That was what saved Lloyd. If it had been straight, he'd been in a lot of trouble. Lilley had to go wide and took his eye off the ball, and Lloyd scrambled home. A little bit of rain making it a little bit difficult for Lilley. Great fast bowler bowling to 2 batsmen who are playing superbly under the conditions. Gomes, solid as a rock. His captain, a real dasher. Top entertainment by two superb players.
"17 runs of 26 balls. Lilly to Lloyd, fielded by Lilly. It was a maiden ball. They need another maiden over. It's not been a great over by Lilly. That delivery down the leg side was very costly. 4 runs played fine by Larry Gomes. It was a good shot by him, but Lilly was in fighting trouble. 17 runs of 25 balls. Australians desperate to get into these finals. And that's a big hit by Clive Lloyd. That's 4-2. What a beautiful shot. He's hit that very hard. It's gone to the square cover boundary like a rocket. 4 for 173. And this has got to be close. If he hits, oh, he's missed. That was Bukowska coming in quickly there, but he missed the stumps, and that would clearly have been very close.
This is where you struggle when you have a guy like Bukowska at cover. You think of the Harveys, the O'Neills, the Sheehan's, Chappells. Bukowska a little bit slow. 1 or 2 fumbles, and you have Dyson that's slow, Wood that's slow. Hughes is not over quick, and it's when you need top fieldsmen in those positions. West Indies have played superbly in this last hour. Fine partnership by Lloyd and Gomes, taking the score from 116 to 174 in only 40 minutes.
To Lloyd, that's it high, and Alan Border's under it. He's gone, he'll catch it, he's gone. So Clive Lloyd holds out a deep extra cover, but that might just be a little bit too late. That was a fine innings by Clive Lloyd. And really, Thompson deserved this wicket.
Safest hands on the side apart from Greg Chappell's ball. Didn't take his eye off it for 1 split second. It was well struck. And we see the ball coming straight to Border, who judged it to perfection. Fine knock by Lloyd at 30. It's invaluable for his team. And it's 5 for 174.
So Jeffrey Dujon coming out now to take over from Clive Lloyd. And this is the way he went. He had to go for the big one. He didn't really, but he did. And he hit it straight to Alan Border. Border feeling down at the boundary at deep extra cover, made no mistake. Fine bowling this has been by Thompson. And really is great to see, because he hasn't really had much luck this season. One went high and deep, and Alan Border was equal to the task. Jeffrey Dujon. Example, having taken his sweater off and having given his cap to the umpire, has put his cap back on his head. He hasn't taken his sweater back yet, but Lawson, who I think was quite happy down there at third man, is now beginning to stroll up towards the stumps. Could it be an underarm, Bill?
Well, I don't think it'd be an underarm, because Rodney Marsh has suggested that Chappell not bowl this one. He said give it to the young quickie. Let him come down, bowl from the members' end, and the crowd boo now because they thought it was going to be the hero Chappell, but it's going to be Jeff Lawson. Don't see that happen very often in a first-class match. So that gives Dujon and Gomes a chance to deflect. Sure, they can hit 7 runs off 2 overs with 5 wickets in hand, but that was an interesting change.
Yes, I think Rodney Marsh's thinking there was that Lilly had bowled a pretty tidy over, and with that little bit of extra pace, they were of course able to keep the men up, saving 1. And it looks as if they're going to apply similar tactics here. Lawson Lawson has just looked up towards the sky as if he was asking for help.
He certainly did. He's got to take it easy and bowl straight.
Well, he's on his way, and Dujon has the strike. Down the left side, and well taken by Marsh. No ball called, and so that's a run. Marsh disgusted.
Well, Marsh, he should be disgusted, but he asked him to bowl, and that was a bad delivery that should have been put away. But he still paid the penalty because it was a no ball.
Also, they're absolutely disgusted with himself. Shook his head all the way back to the mark. That front foot just over the line. In fact, it wasn't that bad a delivery. Had it not been a no ball, he would have only had 5 to go. He's got 6 to go, and Marsh there disgusted. Lawson on his way again to Dujon. That's through the field, and they'll get 1, certainly 2. They might even get 3. Alan Border's got it, and so just 2. Four runs needed. 11 balls remaining. Lawson has to complete this over, and then Dennis Lilly, who bowled a maiden last over, has got to bowl the last over. This is pretty well a lost cause, unless Lawson can keep it very tight for the next 5 balls of this over. Lawson to Dujon again. Well bowled.
Dujon's not in any hurry. I thought he might have gone after Lawson, but on jagged back slightly. Never really after it though, just lucky to get inside edge. 4 runs for victory.
Yes, I think I might be going for the big one here. I wouldn't want to leave it all to the last over. Just remember the West Indians have got 5 wickets in hand, and so no real problem with losing a wicket. I suspect he's going to go for the big one. He's nicked it, he's gone, he must be out. There's a huge appeal. Umpire Johnson not moved. All the Australians in the air. A smile on Rodney Marsh's face, and certainly was a noise. Perhaps it wasn't the bat.
That was a superb decision. Coming off the top of the pad. Rodney gave it the big shout, a bit of desperation. Umpire Johnson not moved.
Yes, that looked to be a good decision by umpire Johnson. I think that flicked the top of the pad. More importantly, it was a dot ball. No runs were scored. 4 balls to go in this over. Will this be the big one? This is the big one. That's 4, and that's the end of the game. Game, set, and match. The West Indians win. And so now it is all on the last match. The match down in Sydney on Tuesday, starting at 2:30. It's going to be the match which is going to decide whether the West Indians or whether the Australians get to play in the finals against the West Indies.
Well, what a great finish to a superb weekend's cricket here at the Gabba. Fine shot there by Dujon, but he was supported by Gomes, who played a masterly knock under the situation. He came to the crease at 2 for 32 when they were struggling. He scored a 94 with Richards, to 116 with Backus, to 174 with Lloyd, and he remained 56 not out. That was a top performance by Larry Gomes. The West Indies after 9 matches are 14 points, Pakistan after 10 are 8, and Australia after 9 are 6. What a finish is going to be on Tuesday night for the final berth in the finals of the Benson and Hedges World Series Cup matches. But full credit to the West Indies today. They had to make 186 off only 40 overs, and they did it well. Greenwich 16, Haynes 11, Richards 34, Gomes not out 56, Backus 20, Lloyd 30, Dujon not out 6, extras 13, 5 for 186. The bowling for Australia, Willie 9 overs, 1 for 32, Thompson 2 for 40, Mick Malone a good spell on the stage when it was needed, no wicket for 34, Greg Chappell 1 for 22, Lawson 5.4 overs, no wicket for 45. We're back in just a moment with the man of the match presentation.
Be quite a fixture. Good match today, and great cricket, in fact, all over the weekend here at the Gabba. Today, the weather was very, very kind to us, really. Just the one interruption, and a magnificent crowd of over 22,000 here. The biggest attendance at the Gabba since the ground was renovated. It used to be very, very open ground with no facilities. Now that they've put in the stands, there was a record crowd last year for the McDonald's Cup final, and here today that record was broken for the new style ground, 22,000 people in. And they had their money's worth. It was a great game of cricket. West Indies at one stage looked as though they would go down. Then there was that marvellous partnership between Gomes and Lloyd. Partnership of 58 in only 41 minutes. And as they've done so often this summer, Gomes and Lloyd held the side together after the early batsman had fallen away. Tuesday's match at the SCG is Australia against West Indies, play starting at 2:30 and going through under lights. And the Benson Hedges World Series Cup table now has West Indies on top with 14 points and Australia still 2 points behind Pakistan. So it's a very, very tight situation. The Australians knew what they had to do today. The weather didn't inconvenience them. In fact, it may have helped them a little by letting them go for broke in those last 7 overs to get up to 185. Nines Wide World of Sports has a great deal of pleasure in bringing you the cricket from the Gabba this weekend. Don't forget the Volvo Masters Championship final, live from New York, Monday 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Summer Time. And that should be a great final. So Tony Greig is down in the presentation area. He has Greg Chappell there. Clive Lloyd is not skippering in this match. It's Vivian Richards, and the man of the match will be there in a moment or two with Tony as well.
Thank you, Richie. Yes, well, once again, I've got $5,000 here to distribute between the players, and of course, that $5,000 allocated by the Australian Cricket Board out of their Benson and Hedges funds. The $3,000, of course, goes to the West Indian team, and today we've got Viv Richards with us. He's just arrived. Your cheque, Viv, for $3,000. Well played.
Thank you very much.
Another tight game, two magnificent games of cricket this weekend.
Oh yeah, I think the Brisbane crowd, must be pretty pleased, with what went on, for Saturday and Sunday. And, just like to congratulate the fellas, on magnificent effort on the weekend.
Thank you very much, Viv, and congratulations. Well, Greg Chappell's been kind enough to pop in as well. Greg, almost impossible in these rain-affected matches when you have to go out there and field second.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. I thought we did fairly well with the bat to finish up with the score that we got. I thought that it had given us a chance to win the game, provided we could get some wickets early and keep getting wickets consistently. But unfortunately, our fielding again let us down, and our bowling probably wasn't quite up to the mark. We've let ourselves down in one department or the other in most of the one-day games we play this year. But still got one more chance in Sydney, so we can only keep trying.
Yes, there'll be a fair few million people wishing you on, and so can we take this opportunity of wishing you well as well on Tuesday night.
Thanks
Good luck.
very much.
Thanks for coming down. Right, well, we've also got a Player of the Match award, that lovely gold Benson and Hedges Players Medallion, plus a cheque, which is just behind it, for $500, and I don't think there's any doubt about who won this match today. Larry Gomes has been good enough to come down. Your cheque, Larry. One of the features of the innings you played was the fact that you were able to keep nice and calm.
Yes, well, I try to keep as calm as possible and try to keep the scoring going.
Very, very well played. Congratulations, and we look forward now to the match on Tuesday night, and I suppose you know that there'll be about 4 million, perhaps 5 million people hoping that you get out for naught. Very well played today, though. Right. Congratulations. Right, that's all from the presentation area. Back to Richie Benno in the central commentary position.
In fact, if he plays as he did out there today, he'll win the Man of the Match award again. Fine performance from Larry Gomes, who's assuming greater stature each game he plays here in Australia. So just a final reminder about Tuesday's match at the SCG. Play starts at 2:30, and it's virtually a final to see which of Australia or Pakistan go into the best of 5 finals to play against West Indies. On behalf of the commentators and Nines Wide World of Sports, thanks for being with us this weekend. We look forward to having you again with us on Tuesday. Good night.